Hey, Cass, did you know we've just published a book called Beatles Rewind?
Yes, I was aware of that, Steve. I wrote at least half of it.
Oh, yeah, that's right, you did. Well, anyway, it's available free on Amazon. Just search for Beatles Rewind. The ebook is free, and the audiobook is a few bucks, although the audiobook is free everywhere else but Amazon, like Google Play.
Well, tell people what it's about.
Well, it's about the Beatles, pretty much the whole shebang. The book's subtitle tells you everything you need to know. Essential stories of John, Paul, George, and Ringo, and the music that never gets old.
And speaking of stories that never get old, there's this one specific turning point we absolutely have to cover today. We need to look at the timeline of 1964.
Oh, exactly. 1964. I want you to just picture the sheer visual whiplash of that year.
It was intense.
Right. Think about where they started. You have this band playing these incredibly gritty, dark club venues. They're up there sweating it out in heavy leather jackets.
Yeah.
And then practically overnight, they're arriving in America completely polished, suited up, and walking into the elegance of places like the Plaza Hotel in New York.
It is just a massive contrast, Steve. You go directly from that raw, sort of aggressive energy of the early club days straight into the absolute high society sophistication of the Plaza.
And that striking visual clash, it moves straight from their arrival right onto the Ed Sullivan Show performances.
Right.
Like, imagine sitting in your living room watching that broadcast in February 1964. You see the sharp suits. You see Paul McCartney commanding the stage with his iconic Hofner bass. The rhythm is just undeniable.
But what you also have to notice, and I think a lot of people miss this, is the visual styling of that performance. It wasn't just bright, cheerful pop television.
No, not at all.
If you look at their faces, they use this really striking half-lit aesthetic. By using heavy shadows on one side of their faces and bright light on the other, it visually signaled to you that this wasn't just some disposable variety act.
Right, it had weight to it.
Exactly. It gave them an avant-garde artistic weight right out of the gate.
Which makes the reaction of the establishment so baffling to me. You have the sharp suits, the undeniable musical presence, this incredible artistic aesthetic. You'd think the adult media would respect that.
You would think so.
But instead, the pushback was severe. Right.
But the moment the band walked out, that societal expectation just shattered. The screaming was a massive release valve.
And the physical force of that release was staggering. The reporters noted that the screaming from those 14,000 teenagers was so loud it could have drowned out a Marine Corps band.
Just imagine the sheer volume required to drown out a Marine Corps band, and the dedication it took just to get into that room is mind-blowing. You had fans hitchhiking all the way from towns like Warren, Ohio, just to be near them.
Hitchhiking from Warren, Ohio. And not just thumbing a ride, Cass, they were hiding in a boxcar.
Wait, really? A train boxcar.
A train boxcar, just to get to the city.
It is pure, unadulterated dedication. For those fans, it wasn't just a concert. It was a pilgrimage. They needed to be at the epicenter of this cultural shift.
And wherever there is that kind of wild, unadulterated cultural dedication, the commercial tie-ins are going to follow right behind.
Oh, the absolute wildness of the commercialization. The establishment might have called their hair a visual nightmare, but the market immediately saw an opportunity and jumped right on it. The market always figures out how to package rebellion. But what makes this band so unique is how they responded to it all.
That's the most fascinating part of the whole story for me. You look at the absolute peak of this mania. The boxcars, the $3 wigs, the 14,000 screaming teenagers dropping the veneer of civilization, the noise drowning out a Marine Corps band.
The hysteria was so deafening they couldn't even hear themselves play.
Right. And it is wild to think that these exact same mop tops causing all these riots would eventually look at the hurricane around them, trade those screaming stadiums for the quiet isolation of the studio.
Yeah, they took all that madness and evolved. The chaos of 1964 was just the prologue.